Hello, I'm Mark Scholaro, the owner of MS Classic Cars. Today, I'm presenting you a very rare and absolutely beautiful 1972 Buick Skylark Sun Coupe that has been fully customized with a 455, including the GS 455 Ram Air package. To start off this presentation, the first thing I'd like to say, if you have not been following MS Classic Cars, I'd like to tell you that I only collect number 1 and number 2 condition vehicles. So all of the vehicles that we have in our collection are at a higher level of quality than most vehicles that you see advertised for sale. We're also the only classic car dealership in the country who services every vehicle we sell. We document that work with an invoice that we provide within our photo gallery. So please make sure to check that out. As an example, with this particular car, we invested over $11,000 in the car mechanically and cosmetically to bring it to its highest level that you see here today. Regardless of who builds these cars, whether they're factory correct cars or custom cars like this car is, they all need to be sorted out, and that's what we do at MS Classic Cars. We sort these vehicles out, we detail them to a high level, so when they're purchased, the people who get them don't have to worry about doing anything but enjoying them. So I definitely want to make that clear. This is also a non-rehearsed video. I'm sure there's going to be things about this vehicle that I forget to mention, so please visit our website at msclassiccars.com for a full description, tons of highly detailed photos, of course this video, and a bunch of other information. Please spend some time on our website, Google our company, and do your homework. Starting off with this particular car, this is a very rare car. To tell you just a quick bit of information here, I pulled some stuff off the internet from decoding the VIN tag, which is the original VIN tag, and also from the trim tag, which is the original trim tag. And this clearly states here that this vehicle was born a 72. It was built in Flint, Michigan. It was built as a hardtop. It originally had a 350 4-barrel setup. As far as the engine is concerned, it was originally fire red. It had this white vinyl top with this enormous sunroof here, which is really cool. They refer to this as the Sun Coupe. 1972 was the only year that Buick offered this model. It's very rare. So again, I pulled some information off of the internet. Matter of fact, this was an issue that was found in Hemmings Motor News in November of 2016. I quoted it on our website. It goes into talk about how rare these cars were, some really good information about them, but most importantly, down at the bottom of the article, it says, how rare is it? It said Buick didn't keep detailed records, but further confirmed inquiries from the Buick Heritage Alliance, unofficial sources list an array of production numbers anywhere from $39.43 to $34.50. However, research among well-versed Buick restorers and specialists have concluded that the Sun Coupe production numbers fell somewhere between 16 and 1,800 units. So regardless if that number is as low as 1,600 or as high as the 39.43, you can only imagine how rare this is and how many of these cars still exist today. So this vehicle was the product of a complete frame-off restoration. It was obviously a complete nut and bolt. It was done very, very nicely. I would refer to this as somebody who didn't really spare a lot of expenses, because as I talk more about the car and you learn more about the car, you're going to recognize how much money and time was spent on this vehicle. So the first thing is, from the information I've gathered, this was a rust-free car before it was restored. Because it was rust-free, a lot of the sheet metal did not have to be replaced, so the sheet metal on this car is all original. During the restoration process, as the body was being done, they added this GS 455 Ram Air style hood here. It's a really, really sexy hood. It has black vents toward the front with the two nice bulges, just a really good looking hood. They also added the rear GS 455 spoiler in the back, which really looks nice as well. And then again, they painted the car in its original color, which was fire red. This is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous color red. They did a beautiful job on the paint. This is definitely a show quality paint job. MS Classic Cars has detailed it to a brilliant shine. It just looks absolutely spectacular. Talking about some of the other features, as I mentioned earlier, it was born with this white top here, and you'll notice in this video, this is not just a normal sunroof. This is actually a massive sunroof. Again, they refer to it as the Sun Coupe, and this just kind of opens and closes like a shutter here. It really operates nicely. It's pretty massive. It would be more comparable to a new vehicle that had what's called a panoramic roof, because it's so much bigger than a typical sunroof. So again, can't say enough about how cool that is. Getting back to the exterior, besides the super straight body and beautiful paint, all of the glass is brand spanking new. So all the glass was done. The glass is in beautiful condition. Again, talking about the front windshield, talking about the rear glass, all the side glass, these vent window quarter glasses here. Again, everything was replaced during the restoration. Talking about some of the features on the outside of the car, like the stainless trim, this was restored. The wipers were replaced. The front grille, we actually painted that black at MS Classic Cars to give it kind of a stealth look. We also painted the headlight buckets, which really complement the red coloring. We also added the GSX chin front spoiler, which is actually really nice. It gave it a different look in the front. We thought it was a great idea to do all of that. So again, that whole front section that's been kind of colored with black matches the black hood vents and the hood. It all just kind of flows together. The bumpers were re-chromed. It's got new fender trim. We also replaced the lower molding on the bottom at MS Classic Cars when we serviced it. That lower molding actually has red stripes in it, so it matches perfectly. They added these dual sport mirrors, which look really, really nice on the car as well. And the rear spoiler on the back side of it has kind of a white stripe on it that looks really nice. That kind of matches the interior. It matches the white vinyl top. And then again, the taillights, that whole back section is kind of a black color. So the car just really flows together. It has that really great look that you would see, you know, from a Buick or from a Chevelle or something like that. It just has that great design that's really timeless. And then of course the car has a killer stance with its modified suspension system. It just sits perfectly on 18-inch US mag 10-spoke wheels. The center section of the wheels are kind of like a matte gray. It has a polished lip, and then of course they put in a Buick logo as the center cap, which really kind of put the icing on the cake. So when people see this car, especially when the sunroof is open, they don't even know what it is. It's just something that everybody kind of gravitates toward. Again, something I'm really proud of. Can't say enough about the exterior of the car. Getting into the interior, again, as I say in a lot of videos, with most cars, you know, you don't really get the whole package. Here at MS Classic Cars, I try to purchase vehicles where everything has been done to a high level of quality. So when we look at this interior, I'll first start with this sunroof deal. They did a really nice job with this headliner. You can only imagine the work that went into this headliner because of this large sunroof. And you'll notice when you move this forward, the headliner is also part of this piece that actually folds back. So again, it's in really, really nice condition. Everything is nice and tight. Everything fits really well against the edges. Of course, the sun visors are black. It's got a brand new rear view mirror. The entire dash is brand spanking new. It looks awesome. All of the gauges are super nice. They're crystal clear. It does have an RPM gauge, which looks really nice. It does have the simulated wood on the lower section of the dash. The car does have a little bit of original patina left in it. So as an example, when I look at the washer button or the headlight button or the wiper button, maybe a couple of the heater control buttons, this center section of the center console, I can still see a little bit of patina, which indicates to me that it's probably original. But I would say that 98% of this interior has been fully restored. They did a gorgeous job with it. I will make a comment regarding the radio. This is an auto sound radio, so it's kind of a radio that looks old, but it's actually modern. And what they did, which I thought was pretty cool, is where the cigarette lighter would normally have gone from the factory, they added a USB input port there, which is really cool. They obviously upgraded the speakers. This vehicle does have air conditioning, which works excellent. The heat works excellent. We serviced all that at MS Classic Cars again. We documented that on the invoice. We spent over $11,000 on this car, making sure it was all sorted out. It does have a couple of gauges that have been mounted underneath the dash. That's an oil temperature gauge, or oil pressure gauge rather, and water temperature gauge is there as well. It's got this really nice tilt column here, so you can adjust the steering wheel. The column has these nice billet levers for the turn signals and again for the tilt. This is a deluxe sport steering wheel that's brand spanking new. It's in beautiful condition. Now, we get a little bit of cool contrasting colors in here. Again, the top is black, the dash is black, the whole steering unit's black, but the black actually kind of flows into the center console. The console has the simulated wood like the dash has, this really cool horseshoe shifter, and this little storage compartment here. As I mentioned earlier, the only part of this console that appears to be original is this chrome plate here. That's something we can look into replacing if the new owner wants to. We can kind of negotiate that when the time comes. But getting into the rest of the interior, I was under the impression from the information that we've gathered that this was a Legendary interior. So Legendary is a company that does really higher end interior products. Supposedly that was used during this restoration, so you can kind of tell by looking at it that the fit and finish is very nice. The door panels are kind of this white parchment interior kind of coloring with this nice stitching here, and then it has the simulated wood mid door panel, and then down toward the end of the door panel it has the red carpeting. Obviously the car has red carpeting throughout all the way, and it also has oversized red carpeted floor mats that fit actually really nicely. Again, all of the door hardware is brand new. You know, the window rollers, the door handles, the remote driver side mirror control, the door sills, things like that. Last but not least in this interior, probably my favorite part, besides how beautifully done the dash was, are these special contoured seats. These are custom seats. They're a little bit larger than the factory. You'll notice they don't have any headrests in them. They're kind of like a pro car style seat, and it just really feels good when you're sitting in it. Obviously they were brand new, but what I like most about them is they upholstered these seats to look like the factory original seat which you will see in the back of the car. So I have to give kudos to the gentleman or lady or whoever did the restoration on this car. They did a beautiful, beautiful job with the interior, keeping it somewhat original, but giving it that perfect custom touch. The trunk compartment was nicely restored. There's no spare tire back there because obviously this car's got custom wheels and so forth. So just keep in mind, there's no spare tire, no tools, but the trunk compartment was nicely finished. If somebody down the road wants to purchase a trunk mat, that's always something you could do that will add a little character to the trunk, or they could carpet it or whatever the case might be. We left that alone for the new owner to decide what he or she wanted to do. When we look at the engine compartment, it still, again, is a real high quality, like you see on the exterior, like you see in the interior. Everything flows into the engine compartment. Underneath the GS 455 Ram Air style hood, everything underneath was finished in kind of a satin black. It's got all new installation underneath there. It looks really nice. The hinges are kind of a gray color to kind of break up some of that black that you see on the firewall, in the inner fenders, and also on the radiator support. So all of that was done really nice. The engine that's in this car is actually out of a 1970 Buick. It is a 455 V8. We decoded it. It's an SR code engine. It had 350 horsepower. We were told it had a stage 1 cam, which we think is accurate based on the way it runs and the way it sounds. This engine was done very, very well. My mechanics made multiple comments how beautiful it runs. It really starts up nice, it runs nice, it performs nice. Of course, the engine was painted red, the valve covers are red. It was really dressed up nice with everything that you see here in this video when you're watching the engine run. You will notice some modifications that are made, like the GS 455 Ram Air air cleaner hole. That whole setup there is really nice. It also has an HEI distributor. It's got high performance spark plug wires. We even have some nice spark plug boots on top of them as well. Again, all the wiring is really neat. We kind of cleaned some of it up when we were servicing it. So again, the engine is really a great engine. The engine actually breathes through manifolds, but it goes into a custom Pypes exhaust system. Pypes is a brand name. They make really good mufflers. They sound really good. But what's extra special about this car is it has electric cutouts. For anybody who doesn't know what electric cutouts are, it actually opens the exhaust toward the front, so you kind of don't use the mufflers, and it gives you that louder, more aggressive sound, something like you'd see similar like at a drag strip. And that can be done with a remote control. So these remote controls here, they open and close the exhaust system. So what I will do when we start the car in a minute, I will go ahead and use those so you can hear the difference between it open and closed. It's really, really a cool feature. The other thing I'll mention about the engine compartment is the engine is cooled by an oversized aluminum radiator with dual fans. It also has a CPP quick ratio steering box, which really makes a difference when you're steering the car. It's a really tight system. There's just a lot of upgrades. It also has power brakes, and you'll notice in the engine bay that you'll see that Wilwood master cylinder that's up front there. I'll get into the brakes when I talk about the undercarriage here in a second. But again, I can't say enough about the engine compartment. And also, as I mentioned earlier, it does have air conditioning, so you'll see all of that. And it obviously has been converted to R134. Again, we took care of that at MS Classic Cars when we serviced it. Now, talking about the transmission, it has a rebuilt turbo 400 transmission that shifts absolutely beautifully. That's a great transmission, can handle all the power that you throw at it. It also has a new drive shaft that we had balanced. We took care of that in service at MS Classic Cars. And it also has a 10-bolt rear end with an Eaton Tru-Trac POSI setup. We changed the gears in the rear end. We rebuilt it at MS Classic Cars, so it's got a really, really good rear end. The perfect gear ratio for this drivetrain. Again, something that the new owner will truly enjoy. Getting into the undercarriage. The undercarriage of this car is absolutely beautiful. It's definitely nice enough where you could put mirrors underneath that at a car show if you choose to. Everything underneath this car was rebuilt from the steering system to the suspension system to the braking system. It does have a Rytec suspension setup. It actually has Rytec coilover adjustable shocks, which are great. And it also has strong arm control arms. It has oversized sway bars, so it really, really handles well. It also has Wilwood power four-wheel disc brakes. The rotors are actually drilled and slotted. It's got black calipers. Again, this restoration, if you start to go back and think about everything I said in the beginning, as far as the rarity of the car, the fact that it has the original sheet metal, it's got a high quality show paint job, all the glass was replaced new, it's got these custom wheels, a lot of custom accents. Then you start talking about this brand new interior with all the features that I mentioned, start talking about the air conditioning, start talking about the motor, the transmission, the rear end, the brakes, the suspension, the exhaust. I can go on and on. This is a very, very expensive car if you were to have bought it as just a 72 Buick Skylark Sun Coupe like it was originally and gave it the restoration that somebody did. This is a great opportunity to buy a car that we've never owned here at MS Classic Cars before. So this is definitely our first Sun Coupe we've had. And because they only made them that one model year, and there's probably a very limited amount left, this might be the last one that we ever have. Hopefully one day I'll have the opportunity to buy another one. So I appreciate you watching this video. If you have not signed up for our email blast, please do that. We have a VIP email blast. It's on our website. There's a link there at msclassiccars.com. If you don't follow us on social media yet, please follow us on social media as well. MS Classic Cars is not a huge company, but we're doing big things. We are truly different than everybody else. So please look into us and you'll find out why. If you have any questions, you can contact me personally via email or phone call. I'll handle all your questions and I'll make your purchase a very pleasant transaction. So again, thanks again. I'm gonna go ahead and start this car, let you listen how beautiful it runs. I will mention right now that I literally hadn't started this car in probably a couple of weeks. We turned the key, it fired right up on high idle, kicked it down within seconds of it running, let it warm up outside for maybe 2 minutes. We backed it into the showroom and here we are today. You're gonna see how awesome it starts. I'll go ahead and do that now. Starts right up, absolutely purrs like a kitten. And what I'll do is I'll demonstrate for you the open headers. So right now the vehicle's idling at normal exhaust. I hit the remote and you'll see how it sounds. Big difference. Sounds great. I'll go ahead and close it. You see how awesome it sounds, and it gets really quiet again. It's a really, really cool feature. Again, I'll shut this car off. Remember, this is a 455 big block with a stage 1 cam. Watch how nicely this thing starts. Fires right up. That's because at MS Classic Cars, we dial these cars in, we adjust the timing, we set everything up so the new owner can get in the car, have fun, and enjoy it. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate it.